Alrighty, welcome back to another vid. A couple of quick announcements. Number one, I'm gonna make this quick. Switching over to PC, I basically have to re-record all of the raids on PC again. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, but I'll be able to edit a bit more, and I'll be able to adjust, like get a new mic and everything. So quality should be going up here shortly. Secondly, I am approaching my 150th raid. I'm at 132 right now, so in about a month, I will be ridiculously close to my 150th raid. I will be streaming it, and you will be able to hear everybody that's in the team in voice chat. So if y'all have a suggestion for a raid, either King's Fall or Deepstone, maybe Val if like everybody wants it, but either Deepstone or King's Fall. But this will probably be the last video that I make purely on PlayStation. The only other one that I might make is God of War Ragnarok, because, I mean, like, come on. I have to. But, yeah, that'll pretty much be all for that section. Now, moving on to the main thing. So, Guardian classes. I went through, looked at all the Guardians, you know, I went through them extensively, alright? I will not be doing that extensiveness in this video, but if you want me to go through each subclass, through every single thing, every single Guardian individually, I can do a video about them. But they will get released as single Guardian videos. And I put this into 3 categories, and they are weighted. So, first is subclass that has the heaviest weight. Next category, exotic armor, that has the middle weight. And then fashion is the last weight. It's not that weighted, alright? Think of it as each category will get condensed into basically first, second, and third. For subclass, exotic, armor, and fashion. For subclass, I went through each subclass, ranked each of their subclasses, 1, 2, and 3, divvied them all up together, so technically it has a first, second, third times 4 multiplier, kind of. And wrote the scores down, and for exotic armor, I counted up all of their exotic armor pieces, and then first, second, and third, multiply that by 3. Then fashion, I just ranked them, and they'll have a multiplication of 2, first, second, and third. Now getting into it, starting off with subclasses, stasis. Titan's the worst. For subclasses, I went with, first off, how often I see them. Like how often I see the individual ones, and also for how much new stuff and how powerful they are. Clear for stasis, Titan is last. I shouldn't have to explain, for those of you that don't know. The stasis Titan's bad. Think about it. How often do you see it? If you see it, they're definitely using Diamond Lance. Or they're doing a Triumph or something. Or they're doing bounties or something like that. Moving on to Warlocks. You do see this a lot. They are number 2 for Stasis. Stasis turrets is the biggest reason why. And they have a bunch of good stuff, but Stasis turrets is their biggest thing. Hunter has the best Stasis subclass. By the way, we're counting PvE, not PvP. But their Stasis Super is just like tracks everything. It's broken. And their shurikens are really good. They can still use a decent amount of grenades. They also have Shadow Dive. Okay, moving on to the Solar. Titans are in last. They actually got something removed. If Titans had the damage bonus from Sunspots, then it would definitely be number 2. But due to that, they're number 3. They got a new melee, but it requires an aspect, so I'm not counting that. I will not be counting melees that need an aspect as new. Now, I put Warlocks in number 2 for Solar. Because Dawnblade is still good. Alright, people want to say it's bad, but no, it's still good. Just do a proper thing for it. And also, they did get a new melee, and they also got a new class ability. I think it's called... It's not called Phoenix Dive. It might be called Phoenix Dive. But they have a new thing. They also have Icarus Dash and Heat Rises together. well skating, plethora of stuff. Now hunters hunters are number one for solar. Not only do they have 3 subclasses, but they also have a new class ability thing, and also they have 4 or 5 different goddamn melees. Now, they also have a new like gunpowder thing. The reason why I am counting this as a aspect is due to its nature being it will not use up a. It's not a melee or something like that, so that's why I'm counting that. But that aspect is really good. Well, I don't personally don't use it, but it's good. They are also the only ones that can have 5 fragments instead of 4. So, moving on to Arc. Titans at number 2. The biggest thing keeping Titans away from number 1 is Thunder Crash. I know, Thunder Crash. But, think about it. King's Fall. You can't use Thunder Crash for the majority of that raid. Let's be real here. You cannot use that for almost the entirety of King's Fall. If you do use it, you have to basically have the whole team built around it. That's the biggest reason why it's not number 1. Also, the Thruster class ability is useless in PvE. It's not useful at all. And I'm glad that we got access to all the grenades and stuff, but the biggest thing for Titan was Touch of Thunder, which is really good because it enhances the grenades. But man, kind of dropped the ball with this one as far as PvE goes. And the Thunderclap melee, it's new, yes, but it's not that good in PvE. If you're in higher end content, they got a new super. That super is powerful. Arc Hunter is really stupid broken. That's why. Moving on to Void. I have Titans being at number 2. I think because of Bubble, Sentinel Shield, the new shield throw melee is really good. Bastion with the overshield is very good. That's why I have them at number 2. However, Warlocks are number 1 for Void. Nova Bomb is really good. You have Challenge of the Old Gods, which applies weakness. They got a new melee. They got a bunch of shit. Like, it's so good. Void Hunter is the worst at 3. Despite them having like 3 supers still, I don't know. Didn't they get rid of a melee? Because I feel like they got rid of a melee. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did Bungie get rid of a Hunter melee? Because I hate that they only have one melee option, and I hate it. I do not like using that melee option. That being said, it's not terrible because they have things like Trapper's Ambush, and they have the dodging thing. It's called like Vanishing Step or something like that. They have a bunch of good stuff. So as an overview, you spot at the bottom right now. Titans, add it all together, had a total of 10. 3rd place so far. So these results are going to surprise me even. Warlocks, 2nd place so far at 9. And Hunter with 6 points. They're in 1st place. This works like golf. So the more points that a Guardian class has, the worse they are. Or the more Bungie hates them. Now for exotic armor pieces, keep in mind, Warlocks have 1 less armor piece than Hunter and Titan. Hunter and Titan have the most. I will not be delving into each armor piece. If you want a video on that, let me know. So for exotic armor pieces, for Titan, the ones that are really, really good, 3 helmets, 3 arms, 3 chests, and 2 legs, giving them a total of 11 armor pieces that are really good. With armor, I did this one a little more complicated. But for Warlock, 5 helmets, 4 arms. It actually might have been 5 legs. Okay, but anyways, in total, Titans had 11 armor pieces that were really good. In total, Warlocks had 14 pieces that were really good, and Hunters had 12 pieces that were really good. Got really close, but Warlocks, in relation to how much armor they have, Warlocks are in the lead by far as exotic, really good exotic armor goes. Because, like, for Titan, you have things like Heart of Innermost Light, Actium War Rig, even though that's not used much anymore. Then Curse of the Falling Star, all that good stuff. You know, Warlocks have, like, Osiomancy, Stag, Luna Factions, GMX are still good, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But Hunters, Hormus Crown, Orpheus Rig, Star Eater, and Celestial are the most used. And Omnioculus and that sort of stuff. But so that leaves Titans for just that category, third place with 9. Because I rank those based on first, second, and third, multiply that by 3. So Titans, 9 points. Warlocks, 3. Hunters, 6. So, you know, so far, the Titans are in last place, right, with 19 points. Pretty bad. And Warlocks at 12, alright? Much higher than Titan. And then Hunter also at 12. Tied with Warlock. Titans are so far below. Now it's Fashion. I just ranked them first, second, and third. Multiply that score by 2. Titans had the best Fashion. Right? Look at even like Season of the Plunder's armor. Tell me that Titans doesn't look the best. Look at the Vow of the Disciple armor. Titan looks really good. Like, a lot of this rated seasonal armor and stuff, it looks really good on Titan. Unlike, well, I'm not saying Warlock stuff doesn't look good and Hunter stuff doesn't look good, but Hunter stuff is uneven all the time, and I hate uneven armor sets. And Warlock, really only the chest and helmet matter to the overarching of the look, because you can have robes that don't even show your legs. And the gauntlets don't really matter that much as far as the look goes. So, Titans got 2 points, Warlocks got 4, and Hunters got 6. Now, final scores. In third place, the Guardian class that Bungie hates the most is Titans. Now, I was surprised at how much worse, especially like going through this, I was surprised at how much worse that Titans were like being treated like subclass wise, and especially exotic armor wise, how much worse things were. And then Fashion tried its best to bring it back, but we ended up with a score of 21, which is the biggest gap between third and second place. Keep in mind, all of these are kind of close. They're kind of close. 27. 27 is the highest score that you can get. Like it's the highest. It's the bottom of the barrel. Titan's kind of close to that. The lowest score you could possibly get is 9. So keep that in mind. All of the Guardian classes are about equal, so none of them are like super outlandish, but Titans are at the lowest with 21. Number 2, this is a surprise, was Hunter. Hunter was brought down mostly because of Fashion. If it was not for them being so low on Fashion, they would have been first. Fashion brought them down. And then number 1 is, of course, Warlocks. I was kind of surprised, because it does seem like Bungie gives most love to Hunters and stuff, but now that I really think about it, Warlocks are pretty much just like the best Guardian to run ever. It's kind of weird. It is really weird. That being said, though, here are some caveats to this. Of course, if you're running higher end content like GMs and that sort of stuff, Warlocks are mostly hunted for. Warlocks are hunted for, or whatever. However, if you are like looking into like soloing dungeons and stuff and like doing like solo raid encounters and duos and that sort of stuff, you actually want Titans. Because Titans generally do more damage. I got the making of this video today. Someone soloed Morgoth for the first time. They had to use Titan. The Wormgot's Caress. Also, solo Atheon was done by a Titan. All the soloing stuff is done by a Titan, so there are caveats to this, but in general, Bungie hates Titans the most. And it hurts as a Titan main and loves Warlocks the most. Which now that I think about it, that's kind of obvious. But on that note, I'm gonna peace out. I don't know when the next video will be, but I will get back into streaming again here soon. Now I can stream voice chat, but I will catch y'all on the flip side.